A very good morning to everybody present here. Thank you for joining us today on this early morning. Even though it's a Saturday beginning, I I really appreciate to all those who have took those efforts to join us today. And I'll just make sure that this 1 hour is not going to go in vain. And this study jam, I'm just going to brush you through what we are going to learn in this 1 hour. So, taking back to actual text. We all know that today we are going to promptly present about prompt engineering. So, starting, we would like to go into what actually a prompt is. After which, we will take you through the actual details of prompting and how in real time we already are good at prompting. And prompt engineering, getting more deep about how it actually inverts and insists about things. And getting after that, we'll just have an intro activity with which our backside ML team actually handles a model which will make it more interactive and more resemble to you. Then we'll take you through to write and how to write a good prompt and how ChatGPT uses all good promptings and basic tips and tricks with generative AI and the intersection about this content and ML, I think ending it with the career prospects will be a perfect end. So don't worry, this 1 hour is goddamn covered for you. With no further delay, I think it'll be happy to start. So, what is a prompt? Do you think we all are so new and naive to a prompt? Not at all. We use prompting in our everyday life, every single instance when we are going to tell someone about any context, explain our words, and why not? We all have done the game of Pictionary, isn't it? Where we don't use the actual word to tell them or convey them, rather, we use the prompts to make our friend to guess the exact word. That is a very great example of prompting. So we all are already prompt experts, and whosoever is using ChatGPT now, I hope you have already excelled and mastered in it. To make it even more, to break the ice between us, I'm having an activity to go through now. And guys, this 1 hour is going to be perfectly interactive, so just don't hesitate to take the chat box and type in whatever you think. The more we interact, the more happy and engaging it will go. It will be easy for us. Do help us. So, before we step into the activity, I would like to tell you what a prompt actually contains of. A prompt contains of the instruction, a context, or an input data and an input indicator. So, instruction in the sense is a specific task or model what you want the model to actually perform. So, to be even more straight and frank, we go and get into things which actually define and actually we want through in the way of instructions. Be it telling our friend to close the door, open the bottle, these all things are frame lined instructions which we use every day. So such way, uh, even such ways are called prompting when it comes to instructions. And context. Context is actually transferring the data without knowing it properly. Giving cues is what is context actually. We actually steer the model or try to convey and convince the model to do something which we don't actually know. I think we all would have faced some situations where we don't know what we exactly know, what we exactly want, but we try to frame up a sentence or mungle up a buzz between words to get what we actually need. Sometimes even we go frustrated without getting what we need, and that is because we are not that good in prompting. So today, guys, after this session ends, even if you're not that mastered, you'll be really better in prompting. And the other two types of prompting is input data and output indicator. Input data is something like what we do in data structures. It is we give some input and ask them for output. It is somewhere when we say them that we need 10 specific sentences or 10 alternatives or even telling them about the exact details or the forms or the present tense in which we need the actual output is called the input data. And the output indicator is also being more specific in how you want to be the output be formatted. be it letter or PPT or be it a pic or an image or a video, because now generative AI, it just buzzes our minds offshore. So now I think you all would have got a gross idea about what a prompt is. And here I recall that it can be a wave instruction, or it can be a series of cues calling your context, or you give them some input and expect it to give you output, where it is called the input data. And output indicator is where you are very, very specific in how you want the output to be. Okay. So now let's get into the icebreaker session, and I want you all to wait for 2 minutes for me so that I can just switch into chats. Okay, so now I think everybody is back ready. I want you all to take up your phones or your websites and web links, grab the tech around you, and just get into menti.com and use the code to join me in. The code is 54726805. I'll be waiting for you all guys. Join soon. I hope everyone is visible with my screen so that we will take this icebreaker session to a forward so that you could all join me with using the link code which is given here. Join me at menti.com. Use the code 547268 and 05. As soon as you join this, don't forget to leave me with a thumbs up because I have to know that you're here. Happy to see you. Come on. When it goes to the double digit number, we'll start away. We can't wait for long. Join in, guys. We reached my goal. Okay, I have 10 of them here. Okay. So I hope everybody is ready to prompt as we go here. So now I'm going to display a word for you, and what I want you to do is to type related words to it, not the exact word. Don't give me specs again, or don't give me alternative synonyms to it. Rather, when you hear the word spectacles, what does it come to your mind first? Come on, type in to see the word. Yes, yes. What else? I have 10 of you here. Come on. Myopia. Okay. Eyes, eye drops. Yeah. Sight, vision, lens. Correction. Wow. So here guys, what we did here is an example of context. Here we did, oh. Okay, glasses. Glasses is actually a synonym to spectacles, isn't it? Blind, power, vision, cornea, correction. Vision. Wow, I like this framework. Okay. Okay, we have other questions too, guys. Stop. Okay. So here what we actually try to do here is actual prompting, where you all guys have actually became a 5% prompt engineer by now because you are ready to give me cues which is actually that related to the word spectacles. But you know that this is not that related or not that accurate to what to explain spectacles. Let us take one of the example here. If I take bad eyes and search in the net, it's not going to give me spectacles, right? So these are not actual cues, but I just want you to brush up or take you through what actually context means, and that's the actual intention behind this. Okay, so 31 responses. EP, I'm really happy. Let me just move on to the next one. So the next word is ring. Can you see it? Word in hand. Marry me. Want a GF. Okay. I thought in a Saturday morning all of you would be moody and not that much entered into my session. But see here what and all I get. You get engagement, marry me, finger, jewelry, loop, love, couples. Oh my god. Mm, wonderful. Okay. See, here we have got almost 34 responses by now, and the actual words which actually relate or redescribe ring will be accessory, worn in hand, round, type of jewelry. These are the actual prompts which will give you a ring in search. If you are going to search a GF over here, sorry bro, you're in the wrong link. Lord of the Rings. Hmm. Hmm. I think the next one, none of you would have guessed this. Anyone expected this word? Veg pulao is a crime. Dindikal Talapagati, Mom's Biryani, good food. Leo, spicy rice. Ramzan special. No aloo. Do you think I'm taking an order here, man? Giving your specifications. K and K special. What does it mean? K and K special. Vomit. Who gives me that vomit emotion? Oh my god, you are on a platform, guys, and you don't like biryani. Then I think it's high time you select a good shop and have some biryani. You're missing the actual reality of life. Very good. Green leaf. Oh, I don't know. Okay. Tasty dish. Okay. Going now. Biryani's actual cues which you actually can use is that it's good food. Next, it's a tasty dish. Next, it is out of here. You can use spicy rice, maybe. Vegetable biryani already has the word biryani. We can't use it. Hostel veg biryani, oh, pulao. These all words can be used. So the cues actually which can be used from this slide is that good food, tasty dish, but nothing is more descriptive about biryani. Only some said it's tasty. All others went into relation rather than queuing. Guys, get back to the game now. The game is to give cues so that the person understands or gets the word exactly biryani. You can't say Rolex. Okay, we have two more words to jam upon. So grab your phones, don't leave me alone. Paris. This being a destination, I like you all to give Ilya, country of love, Eiffel Tower, France. So far, very, very good. Three of the responses are the exact response. A destination, very good. France, Eiffel. L'Arc de Triomphe. I know Frenchman. Romance. Okay. Hot chocolate. So is that something like we get the best hot chocolate over there? Is it something like that? Why do I get hot chocolate here? Eh, Vacation place, tourist. Hmm. Clean city. I really love the idea how much cleanliness you like and the fact that you are in India. So poor man. Wanna go? Hmm. Okay, okay. Nagarjuna accident. Hey, you like the film Thora, I think. That is not the actual incident which happened. Fiction, bro. Thora Karthik. And then why didn't Tamanna come? Only Karthik came. Hmm. Okay. So now, getting back to the actual activity, Paris could be searched and got if you use the words Eiffel Tower, City of Love, Vacation Place. I don't know whether they serve the best hot chocolate over there in town. If so, then I think you could use that word too. A destination, tourism, Europe, Eiffel Tower, tourist. All these are cues which actually relate a bit to Paris. All others are just for fun, but it's okay. I'm enjoying it. Let's go to the last one, guys. I hope you love this too. What do you think? What's on your mind? Sastra. I think you'll have plenty to tell me today, but please control your emotions and give me only cues. Shit food. What is this? Can't you be positive on a Saturday morning? Why? Don't do that. Depression, no enjoyment. World class university. Ah, you still believe. It's good. Belief is everything. The so longer you believe, the better it is. Prince nice. Such a lovely soul here. DCS is awesome. Woo. Ah, Kuru Shastra. Wait, we have a week to go. Next Saturday, Sunday, I am sure you'll be having more fun, but stay with me. We are here to learn something. This is also fun, isn't it? Why don't you guys enjoy? We are not going lame. I'm not taking theory classes. 100% placements. I need to personally talk with you. I love Shastra. Wow. Discipline. Oh, why is that vomit emoji repeating? Who is that frustrated guy in the morning? Bring back mushroom. Okay. I think this tagline will trend after this week. You could work on this. You could go for BBM and tell them that it's about bring back mushroom. Mushroom same as meat. Can come for friends. University. Best hostels. Best hostels. Where are you living? Shanmuga. I didn't get Casey here. Why? So when I say Shastra, no one of you think about studies or a degree or something. That's why we exist here, man. This is a university to give out degrees to make you a better person, to make you a graduate. End of the day. Okay, so the actual cues which you could use for Shastra will be bring back mushroom because that is the actual thing which you want. No, I was just kidding. So you could use the word university. And of course, now if you use ByteJam, I think the topic is trending so that you will get Shastra as your search result. It may happen. But to be even more serious, I think you could use Education Hub, Shastra. Again, it has a university. You could again use world class if required. All the other words are more descriptive about Shastra, and you can't wait away getting Shastra as the result if you get into this. Okay, so I hope you all had fun. Was it interesting? Use the chat box because here, after this session, we are not going to use Menti. We'll, of course, come back to Menti in some minutes, but stay there in the Mentimeter. Don't leave. Keep the ID logged in. We'll come back for another job activity to happen in place so that just switch tabs. And now we'll be going back into the stream. And any further from now, if you want to interact with me, if you have any doubts, you can just text in. Okay? Proud Sastrite. I think this will be the perfect proud Sastrite. Okay. I think this will be the perfect word to end up with. There we go, ending this response. And back to our slides, guys. I'll meet you in a few. Okay, so getting back, I'm really happy to see the responses through I got in the Menti quiz. I'm really, really happy that you all also open to engage with me. And from now on, it will be carried by my team to take you through the insight about what prompt engineering exactly is. And now I'm really glad to inform that you all have almost become some prompt engineers because you have given me almost the beautiful prompts I could ever see on a Saturday morning. And the words which we use now are examples of prompts which you already know. So now I think all of you here have got some insight about what actually prompting is and how interesting the remaining of the session is going to be. So grab on as I here comes Shailu from the content cluster to take you through what is prompt engineering.
Yes, guys, so hi. So I'm here to tell you what is prompt engineering. In this digital age where AI models like GPT-3 have become integral to our lives, understanding and harnessing the power of prompt engineering is very important. Prompt engineering is the art and science of craft. Prompt engineering is the art and science of crafting prompts or instructions to guide AI models towards desired outputs. It is a concept in AI to make AI model respond correctly to our needs. It is tools to improve AI. Prompt engineering will also be important in generating other kinds of content, including robotic process automation bots, 3D assets, scripts, and also making images. Just as a skilled conductor shapes the performance of an orchestra, prompt engineers mold the responses of AI models by carefully designing the inputs they receive. One of the fascinating aspects of prompt engineering is its interdisciplinary nature. It draws upon insights from linguistics, psychology, computer science, and other fields to optimize the effectiveness of AI interactions. For example, understanding linguistic structures, cultural references, and conversational norms can inform the design of prompts that resonate with users and generate more relevant responses. So, guys, why do you think is prompt engineering so significant? It's because the way we frame questions or provide instructions, which directly influences the responses we receive. Imagine asking a vague question versus a specific one to a search engine. The results would likely differ significantly. Similarly with AI models, the choice of words, context, and structure can profoundly impact the quality and relevance of a generated content. Moreover, prompt engineering empowers us to tailor AI models to diverse applications and domains. Whether it's creative writing, providing medical advice, or assisting with legal research, the ability to fine tune prompts allow us to leverage AI in ways that align with our unique needs and objectives. Furthermore, prompt engineering is an ongoing process. It requires continuous experimentation, iteration, and refinement to optimize performance and mitigate biases effectively. Collaboration with AI researchers and domain experts is crucial to ensure that prompt engineering practices uphold principles of fairness, transparency, and accountability. What do you think is the goal of prompt engineering? Yes, ultimately, the goal of prompt engineering is to bridge the gap between human communication and AI capabilities. It is facilitating seamless interactions that enhance productivity, creativity, and user satisfaction. Whether it's assisting with complex tasks, generating personalized content, or enabling more natural language understanding, effective prompt engineering is the key to unlock the full potential of AI in our daily life. Now, I would like to hand over to Madhumita for the next content.
Here I am back. So, everybody ready for the next activity? Yes. I really hope that everyone is still joined in the meaty Menti link, which I have already shared before. I have those 10 little participants with me, Will I get all those 50 responses again? Because now we are going to get into actual prompting soon. And here we go. Just for reiteration, I'm going to tell you about the link which I've already shared. Please go into menti.com. And for all those who are joining now, please join me for this activity at menti.com and use the code 54726805. The link and the code is also there in the chat box. So, everybody ready? Can we go? Guys, this activity will be moreover like not that like before. It will be quite different. Where now we are not going to give cues, we are going to get into actual work. Now I think you all would have known what prompt is and what prompt engineering exactly is. To put it even more in layman words, prompt engineering is actually using prompts or technical cues to get your generative AI the work which you actually want to get done. So prompting is really, really, really important in today's world. As important as generative AI is, because to use and get the maximum out of generative AI, you need to know how to give a good prompt. The better prompters we are, the better we get the result. So now let's get into the activity. I really hope that everyone here are with me getting into the activity. So here is one such sentence. Now think or imagine yourself that you are going to write different type of creative text formats. Writing different creative text formats. So here what I want you to do is I didn't even tell the question, please wait. So what I want you guys to do is that I have given you three options, which is write something creative, write a haiku poem about nature, Craft a children's bedtime story with a moral lesson featuring a talking animal who overcomes fear. So these are three types of prompts for a same result. The result is a creative text format, which I'm going to get. Moreover, it is a story here. Imagine that you need a bedtime story that you want to tell your toddler, and now you're searching it on the web. So, which prompt will you be using? Write something creative, or a haiku poem for nature, or craft a children's bedtime story for a moral lesson featuring a talking animal who overcomes fear. So, what will be it? Very good. You all are right. Craft a children's bedtime story with a moral lesson featuring a talking animal who overcomes fear is the answer. Okay. And now, me, instead of just telling you that this is the prompt or this is the best answer, I like to actually tell you why that prompt is the best one. That prompt is the best because it specifies the target audience. We know that it's going to be children who's going to listen. And what we need, it's going to be a bedtime story. And what are the desired elements which you want? You need a talking animal, a moral lesson. So everything is almost insisted in this prompt. So we tell or we rank this prompt to be the best. Let us move on with the next example. Now you have an assignment to submit, and now you're going to create a code in different languages, or to be even more straight, more than calling it to be different languages, I would like to tell that it could be any language. Now you want to run a code or get a code in a programming language. So which one will you use? Will it be create a Java program to calculate the area of a circle, or write a JavaScript function that takes a string as input and returns a string with all characters reversed? Additionally, ensure the function. Okay, so now almost nine of you, the majority has picked write a JavaScript function that takes string as an input and returns a new string with all characters reversed. And for now, I think you people would have guessed why this is the best prompt. Why is it? Again, the same answer as I gave for the before one. It is more descriptive. It is more specific in what you want. End of the day, more than just telling them it's going to be a Java program or calculation of an area. Going in deep and telling them that what are the input elements and how do you want the output to be, and the context is also resigned, and the instruction is to write a JavaScript function. So, as you all remember, in the first few slides which we see, we spoke about the types of the actions that prompt could take up. We saw instruction, context, input data, and output indicator. So I think all the four is covered in the first prompt, and that's why it's called the best prompt. I hope all of you are enjoying this now, but now we are going to get into actual action. And now I want you all to respond me with the chatbot. So who are all with me, please send me a hi, hey, or something. I'm very happy with the response. Hi, hello, hey, hi, hi. Everybody, hi. Okay, now getting into more deep. Ready for the next two questions? Mm. Okay, now actually, I think all of you here knows that this is a collaborative study jam which we are doing now. Until now, you all have just listened the part of content, and I think you'll be wondering by right now, like how we are going to engage with ML. So ML here, what actually is going to do is that we actually have a model which is going to get responses from you, whichever you're going to type in the chat now, and take it and test it with our model to give you how well you match with our similarity or with our content. So it will rank you based upon the way you give me the prompts. Again, now there will be a question iterated and for which you will be writing a sentence. I hope now you remember all the key points which you need to keep in mind. It's just instruction, context, input data, and output format. So if you are going to cover all the four of them, then you are going to be in the leaderboard. The leaderboard is made by our ML team, and it runs on a model that we framed out just for you. Soon in no time you'll be getting the results and there will be also a short explanation about how the code actually worked behind in the ML model, we, which are the elements which are about to happen. So stay tuned. With no further delay here, I would like to tell you and go take you through the question. So here is your question. Your question is to summarize an article. So you need to summarize a different styled article or an article in which you won't know whether it is contained of 50 to 60 words or 100 to 20 words, whatever be the length. You want to give an article and you want the prompt mission or the AI mission of a model to just shortenize and summarize. So your time starts now. We are going for a 30-second countdown, guys. Okay, it is not exactly a model which we are going to use in the behind, but it will give you those results. Okay, so now I think all of you would have done. Okay, I will just repeat the question again. You have to summarize an article or a piece of writing where the writing's length is not defined. It could be 50 words, 100 words, or 50 words, whatsoever be it. But you could mention whether it is an article or a blog or a writing page or anything. And now you have to get a summarized version of your article. So at that point, what will you be doing? What will be the prompt which you will be using? That is the question. Okay, guys, take your phones and chat it. Even be the prompt be so undefined or unframed, I just want some response. I think now you could see the chat box. Wow, summarize said article briefly in X words precisely without losing meaning. Actually, Ashuta, I think did you get the question? Shall I repeat it once for you? The question is actually to summarize an article whose length is not known. What will be your actual search to get it? This is the question. I'm really happy. Summarize the article briefly without losing the meaning. Good. Summarize the article I give you without losing the essence of the meaning. But don't forget to stick under 200 words. Make sure the diagrams are converted to easy synonyms. Thank you so much for responding, guys. And be really glad and happy to know that we have an ML code that is going to run behind in Magic and going to give you results for this soon. So stay tuned and get to know how much accurate you are in making your prompts and how you could develop. Thank you so much for all those who have responded in the chat box. I'm really so happy. And now, moving on to know how to write a better prompt or the best prompt and the tips and tricks to write a good prompt. Here comes Kritik from our cluster to take you through those meanings and give you how to use ChatGPT to a wider scale or on point. So grab your shoes. You're going to actually learn some stuff now to improve your accuracy and be better prompters. So here I go over to Kritik.
Hello everyone, I'm Kritik and we'll now be looking at how to write a great prompt. First, let me go through some rough rules that everyone should follow to get a great result. To be good at prompt engineering, the first step is to ask good questions, and that will lead you to generate good results from an AI. Don't forget to give a brilliant context or story behind the question so that you can get back a great answer. Okay. Now let's see about a framework that we can use to get good results from ChatGPT. We call it the 5W and 1H framework, where the 5W stands for what, who, why, which, where, and the 1H stands for how. The what in prompt engineering refers to the tasks or goals you want the AI to accomplish. For example, if you're using an AI to generate product descriptions, your what could be to create engaging and informative description that can boost sales. Next, we have the who, which refers to the audience of the AI generated content. For instance, if you're creating marketing materials, your who could be potential customers who are interested in your products. The where indicates the intended application or platform where the AI generate content will be used. If you're generating content for a website, your where would be the specific pages or sections where the content will be displayed. Moving on to the why. This specific term explains the reasons or motivations behind using AI generated data or content. If you're using an AI service like ChatGPT to create personalized recommendations, your why could be to enhance the user experience and increase customer satisfaction. The which specifies particular details or types of information you may need more of. Lastly, the term how describes the desired format, style, or method of delivery for the AI generated output. Say you're generating social media posts for an event. Your how could be to use a friendly and conversational tone. By understanding and utilizing these key terms, you can ensure that the AI generated content aligns with your goals and requirements. And let me remind you once again, good prompts result in good results. Whether you're seeking help with a research or would you want to write an engaging novel or a story or need assistance with any other work you do, the main key lies in how you frame your prompt. Now let's explore some tips to write an awesome prompt and get the most out of ChatGPT. First and foremost, clarity is paramount because generative AI is a deep learning model trained on data produced by humans like us and other machines. It really can't see through what you're trying to communicate to understand what you're saying. So, when you're formulating your prompt, make sure that you're specific and detailed as possible. It's best to avoid unnecessary fillers and express your request in a straightforward manner. For instance, instead of a vague instruction like write an outline, you could try out something like write an outline for an academic research proposal that includes sections for title, summary, and next step. This clarity helps the AI understand what you're looking for. Next, don't be afraid to experiment at all. Different types of output may require different approaches. Consider the tone you want to convey. Should it be formal, professional, or casual? Including guidance on tone can help AI tailor its response to match your needs. For each type of output, such as a brief outline or research proposal, you'll want to experience with the generative AI by using different variations of the same request. Consider inputting sample outlines in a prompt or providing examples you'd like the generator to model. And finally, follow up with clear instructions or questions. If you have a specific length requirement, say in 500 or 1000 words, be sure to include them in your prompt. Use delimiters to indicate distinct parts of your input and to provide additional details that might help the AI generate a more relevant response. The more information you provide, the better the AI can assist you. Remember, these models can't read your mind. If outputs are too long, ask for a brief reply. And if it's too simple, ask for expert level writing. If you dislike the format, demonstrate the format you'd like to see to the AI. The less the model has to get at what you want, the more likely you'll get it. Once more, to be good at prompt engineering, there must be a mix of good questions and a brilliant context behind them to get back a wonderful answer. To extract the exact content you're looking for from generative AI, you can use example sentences like role play as a university professor to teach me calculus, or something else like elaborate on this topic to get the information you exactly require from ChatGPT. Now, you remember the activity we just did? We'll now show you the results.
Oh, to getting into the actual results. We have the results here, and you know who tops the table? Fuji Frenzy. I don't. Fuji Frenzy have actually matched up the accuracy of 70.95, and Bro Please have taken it to 80.36. And Enter FF has got 73.8, where Muthu has got 56.5, Shailu has got 41.1, and Johnson has got 50.39, and Sudha has got 68.4. So these are the levels of accuracy of your prompts by now, guys. But now I think all our friend RDF and Kritik has explained you about how to write a better prompt, and I think you would have got even more good insights about how to write or present the prompt properly. So this leader table will be displayed at the end of the session, where you could see where you stand in rank, and you will be improved at the end. So don't worry, and here comes our ML team to explain you how we use the similarity check to rank you in this basis and to get you more about how ML is into prompt engineering.
Okay, let's start. What is a vector? A vector is a collection of numbers representing a single data point. Vectorization is done for efficient data processing and analysis in machine learning. For example, let us look at an example for vector. Mm, Let us say we have a data set of houses with two features, the size of the house and the number of the bedrooms. This is a simple example for a vector. And also, vectorization is the process of converting non-numerical data into numerical vectors that can be processed by machine learning algorithms. This is a crucial step for tasks like natural language processing or computer vision, where textual or image data needs to be transformed into numerical representations for analysis and modeling. Vectorization techniques may vary in the type of data and the specific task at hand. Next, we will move on to Euclidean distance. Euclidean distance calculates the similarity or dissimilarity between two vectors. It is calculated the similarity by calculating the distance between vectors, which is plotted in a multi-dimensional space. For example, let's consider 2 points A and B. The coordinates of point A be x1, y1, and the coordinates of the point B be x2, y2. We can calculate Euclidean distance between these 2 points A and B by take a and b by root over x square minus x2 minus x1 whole square plus root over y2 minus y1 whole square. In this way, we can calculate Euclidean distance. Next, okay, here there are 2 points P and Q. Here P represents P1 comma P2 and Q has coordinates Q1 comma Q2. The Euclidean distance between these 2 points will be root over Q1 minus P1 whole square plus Q2 minus P2 whole square. This is how we can find out Euclidean distance. And there are some limitations for Euclidean distance. Like the main one is curse of dimensionality makes Euclidean distance less effective because we are measuring the straight line distance between 2 points. As dimensions increase, points become equidistant, making it hard to design meaningful patterns. And the next limitation is outliers, which are unusable or extreme data points.
can mess up how we measure distances between points using Euclidean distance. They make our overall picture look weird and can make distances between points seem bigger than they actually are. These are the two main limitations of Euclidean distance, which makes ML model to give wrong outcomes. And we have got similarity techniques. First one is semantic similarity. Semantic similarity examines how similar two texts in meaning to analyze context and word understanding. For example, let us take two words happy and joyful. They are always they are synonyms. They mean the same. So the semantic similarity for this will be very high. It often semantic similarity often employs techniques like word embeddings or semantic networks to quantify this similarity. For and then let's move on to lexical similarity. It focuses on the literal resemblance between words or phrases based on spelling and structure. For example, let's take words cat and bat. They both differ in what single letter. In cat, it's C is there. In bat, it's B. Due to that single letter, due to only that single letter is different in both of these. So almost they both are similar, lexically similar. Next, we will move on to cosine similarity. Cosine similarity is used to check the similarity between two text documents. It represents documents in a multi-dimensional space, with each dimension corresponding to a word or phrase. For example, let us consider two vectors A and B. We can calculate the cosine similarity between them as by calculating the cosine of the angle between those two vectors. Cos theta, as we know, cos theta equal to a bar dot b bar by mod b bar, where a bar dot b bar is the scalar or dot product of these two vectors, and mod a bar and mod b bar are the magnitudes of these two vectors. And then here we can see that there are two vectors a bar and b bar, and the angle between them is 59 degrees. If we calculate the cosine of the angle, it will get 0.559. The angles could be said to be 55% similar. Next, we can, as we have discussed earlier, cos theta equal to a bar dot b bar by mod a bar mod b bar, where a bar dot b bar is a scalar product or dot product, um, where a bar and b bar are the magnitudes of the two vectors a bar and b bar. The cosine similarity works on the calculating the angle between two vectors in a multi-dimensional space. Each vector represents a text. We can examine that the smaller the angle between the two vectors, the more similar the texts are considered to be. If the angle is large, then the both texts are not similar, or we can say it as dissimilar. Euclidean, whereas Euclidean distance versus cosine similarity. Cosine similarity doesn't care about the length of the documents, just whether they are talking about similar things. Cosine similarity will calculate only the angle between the two vectors. They will only calculate the angle, whereas Euclidean distance will calculate the distance between the two vectors. Cosine similarity will not consider the length of the two vectors. It will calculate only angle. It's like comparing two recipes based on the ingredients they share, regardless of how long the recipes are. This is handy in text analysis because documents can be short or long, but still be about the same topic and make it resistant to noisy data. Cosine similarity disadvantages. If two documents based on the direction they point in a space, but it doesn't really understand what the words mean. So if two documents talk about the same thing but use different words, it might not realize they are similar. And another disadvantage is that if we have two vectors a bar and b bar, if we have two set of vectors, and even though if they are different lengths, if they points to same direction, then it will show the cosine similarity as same. It's the main disadvantage in cosine similarity. So what can we do to remove this? Meaning based comparison. It is measuring how alike two things are in terms of what they mean. For example, dog and puppy are very similar in meaning, while dog and car are not. It's about understanding the similarity between words, phrases, or even whole sentence based on what they convey, rather than just how they look or sound. There are multiple ways to do this one, such as word embeddings are like giving each word a special code, kind of like a fingerprint. These codes are created by looking at lots of text and figuring out which words are often used together. So similar words end up with similar codes. We can then measure how similar two words are by comparing their codes. If their codes are close, they are similar in meaning. This helps computer to understand how words are related to each other. Thank you.
Hello. Prompt engineering, a high demand career at the forefront of AI. A new frontier emerges. The world of artificial intelligence has taken a significant leap with the rise of generative AI, particularly large language models, LLMs. These powerful models are capable of remarkable feats, but they require precise instructions to function effectively. Enter the prompt engineer, a new breed of professionals who act as a bridge between human intent and AI capabilities. Demand outpaces supply. The field of prompt engineering is nascent, but it's experiencing explosive growth. The demand for skilled professionals who can wield the power of LLMs is outpacing the current talent pool. This creates a fantastic opportunity for those with the right skill set to carve a niche in this rapidly evolving field. This session also draws from the models mentioned above. Where the jobs are. The beauty of prompt engineering lies in its versatility. Unlike many specialized AI roles, prompt engineering can be applied across a vast array of industries. Here are some specific examples. Healthcare. Prompt engineers can design prompts to help LLMs analyze medical data, generate personalized treatment plans, and even assist in drug recovery. Imagine AI-powered systems scanning vast databases for potential drug interactions or tailoring treatment options based on a specific medical history of a patient. Education. Imagine AI tutors crafted with well-designed prompts to personalize learning experiences and providing students with immediate feedback. Finance. LLMs are equipped with the right prompts can analyze market trends, generate financial reports, and even identify potential fraud. Marketing. Prompt engineering can help create a targeted advertising campaigns, personalize customer interactions, and analyze social media content. And these are just for a few examples. And as AI continues to integrate across more aspects of our lives, the demand for prompt engineers across various industries will only increase. The skills you need to succeed. The good news is you don't necessarily need a hardcore computer science background to thrive as a prompt engineer. Here's a breakdown of key skills: strong foundation in written communication, genuine fascination with AI technology, deep understanding of LLMs, ability to craft clear and concise instructions, staying abreast of AI advancements, and staying updated. A rewarding career path. Prompt engineering offers a unique blend of creative problem solving and cutting edge technology. If you're passionate about clear communication, fascinated by the potential of AI, and eager to be at the forefront of the technological innovation, then prompt engineering could be the perfect career path for you. Investing in your future. The future of AI is undeniably intertwined with the art of prompt engineering. As AI continues to revolutionize various aspects of our lives, the demand for skilled prompt engineers is only likely to increase. If you are intrigued by this exciting field, there are numerous resources available to help you get started, and this session is just the first step. Online courses. Platforms like Coursera and Udemy offers courses specially designed to teach prompt engineering fundamentals and best practices. There are many workshops and industry events too. Consider exploring these options to hone your skills and gain valuable insights from industry experts. Thank you. This brings us to the end of our presentation. The results are also in. Uh, please change the slide. The results slide, please, if it's there. Yeah. So the results are in. These results are based on our ML model, which rank this based on what it thinks is the best for context. So the leader here is Bro Please with a score of 80.36% based on our model. Then is Enter FF 73.8 and Fuji Frenzy with a 70.95. All others have done good as well, but this is the scope of our model now. Now, if you have any doubts, feel free to ask us over any of our social media handles. Now, Madhumita will take over with our take on ads we regularly see while browsing. Thank you.
So congratulations to Bro Please Enter FF Fuji Frenzy for topping the table with 80.36, 73.8, 70.95. I think you will get the most out of this course, everybody, and the others are not that bad. You all would have also tailored with them, and I think you have matched up to what is actually expected. So now, before just ending it like this, I would like to tell you what was the best prompt and why was that prompt called to be the best. The best prompt's answer is, in a bulleted list format, highlight the three most important takeaways from this blog. Post on healthy heating habits. So, whenever we enter prompts, whenever we enter prompts, we said that we have to keep the four things in our mind. So the first thing is instruction. And I think this prompt has the instruction done well because it says that what it needs. It tells the people that it needs the result in a bulleted list. So the context is covered and the list is the format of the context. And next is that it also specifies the input and output by telling that the number of points should be 3. So the more descriptive and more concise we cover these 4 points, you will be getting the actual result. This is a little hack, guys, which you have learned out of this session. So without delaying any further, I like to show you all something. So have you seen this poster and this man? I'm really, really, really sure that you would have met him somewhere, be it Instagram, be it your YouTube videos, and this man becomes non skippable, isn't it? Yes. So, do you think, even at the end of this session, that this person is actually the notion which he delivers out of prompt engineering is true? No. Prompt engineering is not what he tries to tell or he tries to say to people. Prompt engineering is what we spoke till now, till present. Prompt engineering is using prompts where you will deliver and try to get the actual result which you want in terms of words. And we know that prompt engineering is majorly used till date in generative AI. And in generative AI, to get the actual cue and actual work done, you need to give best prompts, and that's how it works. It's never that you join this 9 rupee course and become a big or proper prompt engineer and then earn 18 lakhs. It's not happening, guys, because this is not the true reality. Prompt engineering is not a due course on which you could work on and become and make it as your career to earn 18 or 20 lakhs. It is not the actual truth or actual reality. The reality here is to use the model and get the most out of it. And that's the major application of prompt engineering. Thank you so much for being through the session with me and learning. Thank you so much to all of you who have joined me in this 1.5 hour jamming session. And a special thanks to all the participants who took efforts to take the chat box and reply to me. Thank you so much. And here we end. Good day. Okay, guys, I'm really happy to announce that we will be starting the web and Android study jam in 5 to 10 minutes, again in the same link. So stay tuned, learn more out of the day. Thank you. Please stay in the link. This link, followed by this collab, we'll be having the web and Android collab that will take over, which will be held in a 5 to 10-minute place. So please stay with us.
Hi everybody, welcome to the study jam by jam that we have for web and Android collaboration. So, hi everybody first. So we'll see how excited are you to view this. Please put it up on your comments. Yeah, you guys are very excited from the comments. So today we'll be seeing about how web and Android being like very two different platforms, like two different worlds of technology, how they are collaborating and how smooth it is when both web and Android collaborate. So to have like a very basic view, like most of you have been known, like this is the most elementary concept that we have learned through our even our schools. Web, like the first thing that we learned about computers, that is www, World Wide Web. So web, you all know what web is. A web is a space where it's a very interactive space where you fill forms, you view a lot of things and everything. And when it comes to Android, you guys know what Android is. Nowadays apps don't run on our phones, we actually run on apps. So it's very, I expect most this to be the most interesting collaboration and how very important this is. So we know that web and Android is to be seen very unrelated. So, can you guys put on the comments like what are the famous or very known webs and Androids that you guys use like regularly? Feel free to comment on the chat, guys. Known webs and Androids that you guys use like regularly. So, when it comes to web and Android, what makes it seem so different is the major thing why people seem it make it feel so different is usually when it comes to technical people, we know web, we actually code, we use languages like Java, HTML, CSS to build webs and web apps. But when it comes to Android, it's completely different. We use JavaScript, we use Java, XML, Kotlin, then all to use Android. These are the usually the major things why people feel it's different, and we actually use different platforms also. Like at first glance, web and Android might be very distinct platforms for different purposes, but then as we know, web typically refers to content and application through web server, like web browsers through different things. And when it comes to users also, when if you take a normal layman, he would actually feel web is a very interactive space where it's like very connected to the internet and it's very updating like each and every single second. But when it comes to Android, it's an already existing app which has like pre-loaded data, which doesn't usually require internet all of the times. So these are the usual things where this is what makes everybody around this think web and Android are like literally two different, like which have nothing in common domains. So, what we will share with you today is web and Android. We share a common backend structure. That is usually the client server backend structure. So throughout this presentation, throughout this session, we'll take you through different very interesting components where Android and web go in together and make the experience very seamless and very integrated to any of the user. So for this, you guys don't even have to know anything basics of web or either web or Android. It can be known to anybody. Everything that you require to learn through this, understand this whole session is that of your mere interest. So that is so. As we know, why is it so important to know about all this? We know, like for example, for instance, the most common websites we take, like Netflix or anything, we always have a web version as well as an Android version for this. So it's important that you guys know what is the difference, what difference makes between web and Android also. So I'm very happy that we have very different concepts coming. So we'll now move on to the next concept.
So, hi guys. So, let me just start my session with a small question. So, when just surfing through the internet, have you ever wondered how when you just click a link and then a website pops up, or else? Also, what happens when you just send a message to a receiver, and also it was received almost instantly by the receiver. If yes, the above questions can be answered with a single word, guys. It's request response model. So not technically a single word. So maybe so yeah. So what is this request response model? Let's dive in. So just as a heads up. So it's just a communication model, guys. So it is a communication model between client and a server in which the client sends any request and then the server processes it and then sends back a response. Maybe also this response may include the requested data or else any status information, etc. So yeah. So now let's just dive in and then explore more on it. So yeah, request response cycle. So let me just tell a small analogy on just explaining it. So you are familiar with ByteJam, right? You probably may be familiar from it for the Instagram post. Yeah. So on seeing it, you maybe wondered what is this DCS or else what is ByteJam. So you might have directly go to the Google and then you have to search what is this DCS. So on just searching it, you will be coming that DCS website. So what do? When you just click on it, what happens basically is that the URL or else the uniform resource locator of any website of any domain, when you just click on it, actually a HTTP request is actually sent to the server. Like a Google server or a Brave one, depending on which you use. So actually, the request is sent to the server, and then also in the intermediate process, on the process of sending it, it actually passes through three layers of networking, guys. So, namely DNS, TCP, and then IP. Let me expand on it. DNS. So, what is DNS? So, it's actually a domain name system, which means it is the one which is responsible for the conversion of domain names to IP addresses. Actually, yeah, as the machine can understand the IP address, can understand the domain names, we need to process it to IP addresses for further processing. So the DNS is the one which helps in the conversion of this data. And then TCP or Transmission Control Protocol. This is the one which is responsible for the reliable transmission of data by dividing it into small packets of data, guys. Because I think so, it's easier to transfer in the way. I think so. And also, yeah, TCP is the one which is responsible for dividing those data, and also it is the one which is responsible for reassembling them at the destination spot. And then finally, the IP, or the Internet Protocol. This is the one which is responsible for the routing of data packets to the destination spot, guys. So yeah, after the request is received by the receiver server, what happens basically is that on the whole lot of resources, it just starts searching for the required response for it, or else the required resources which is required by the user. So yeah, and then uh, after the request is sent, the server starts searching for the required resources now. And then after the resource is found, it just sends the response back. That is like stuff like metadata, cookies, and then status codes. Let me come back to status code in a while. And then yeah, the response includes the resources, required resources, metadata, cookies, status codes, etc. and etc. And then the server which sends the response is then received by the browser, your liquid browser. It may be any mobile or a laptop or any system. The browser in your device is does receive that and then does the further processing. That is like when the response is received, it is somewhat in a form of compressed data. So the process of decompressing is somewhat called as a parsing or else in a reading. So what do? We just first of all, when the response is arrived in the form of compressed data, it is somewhat like a unraveling process happens or parsing. So after the data is read or parsed or unraveled, um, it is somewhat sent for the further rendering. So what is the rendering process? The resources which is sent by the response actually contains the HTML, CSS or JavaScript file, which is in the resources, such that the decompressed data must be implemented now. So the process of implementing is called as rendering, such that the HTML and the required files are then there, are, are then they are implemented in the website. Okay, guys, and also this process repeats as long as you're just interacting with the website. So just go on and go on, and yeah. So these are the process which happens each time you open a website. But as this process happens at time span of milliseconds, you won't even notice what's going on in this website. Okay, so that's all, guys. So let me give a minute for you all to process all the data. If you have any doubts now, just comment in the chat. I'll just respond to it. Okay. So guys, someone has asked for the parsing of data. So what is parsing? Let me repeat that again. So what is this? When you just receive a package, it's more like a compressed time. You're familiar with the compressed package, the process of decompressing is somewhat called as a parsing. Also, it can be simply can be told as reading. There's a flag and there's a encode message, and then you're just decoding it. The process of decoding is somewhat called as a parsing. Okay, that's right. Any other doubts? Yeah, okay, guys. So with the same into, let's just move on to the next topic. So next topic is the HTTP request methods. So actually, we just saw the HTTP request now. So actually there's a whole lot of methods which is specific for each functions and resources. So actually, as there's a lot of methods, if you just start to explain about all of them, you'll be confused. Just like a boy in the image. So I just don't know what to do it. So, but for now, I'll just give a heads up on some of the methods. Yeah. Okay. So first one is the get method. So what does the get method do? So what it does is, just like the name suggests, it is used in the retrieving of data from any server. For example, if you just wanna you fetch a website or let's say any image now, we'll be using the get command. And then put one. So put method is the one which is used for updating any existing resource or is used for replacing any old one. Okay. For example, if you just wanna change your bio from the Instagram, for example, na, we'll be using the put one. And then third one, the post one. The post method is the one which is used for creating a new data. For example, if you just want to create any user account in the Instagram or Snapchat means, this is the one which we using it. And delete obviously it is used for deleting any specific user or any specific resources. That's what it is for. So apart from this is a handful of methods, guys. There's still a lot more to go. But I just don't wanna confuse you. So I'll just get a but if you just wanna more ways, you are free to Google it up. But for now, let me just give a heads up on some of those some of those methods include patch, head, options, trace, etc. But for now, guys, let me give a small activity. Uh, I ask the viewers to just Google what the patch method is. It's PATCH. Just Google what is patch is and then just comment it on the live chat. So yeah, it's correct. The patch is called as a partial modification to the resource, updating any specific fields of the resource. Yeah, it's correct. So can we move on, guys? So next one is the HTTP status codes. We just solve the HTTP response now. So along with the response, we just get a metadata, cookies, and then what status codes. So yeah, what are those status codes? So basically, these are the status codes means all the messages which is returned by the server to the browser's request, indicating whether it's more like a information pamphlet or else any message which is to be passed to the any user who is using it. So maybe yeah, let me just give a heads up on some of those. Yeah, let me just read it out. One means it's informational, two means it's success, three means it's redirection, four means client error, and then five means it's server error. Yeah, for simplicity sake, we are given a image on website, which means, for example, if it's one means, hold on, you have information here, just read and go like that. And then two means it's success. So here you got the results right. Yeah, that's it. And then three means it's redirection error. That means the website does not exist or it may be moved to anywhere else for it. And then four means you messed up. That means the request may be wrong or else there's error in your request. And then five means server error. That means I messed up. That means maybe the server messed up somehow trying to fulfill the request. Maybe. But for now, let me just give you any example on the status codes, which maybe you are familiar with, or maybe you can be it's somewhat like a familiar ones. So let me just read it out. So 100 means it continue, 200 means success, 201 means it's created, 301 means moved permanently, 304 means not modified, 400 means bad request, 403 means forbidden, it's 404 means not found, and then 500 means internet server error, and then 503 means server unavailable. Understood, guys? So yeah, these are some of the codes which may be familiar with you, or or else it can be a new information for us. Yeah. So yeah, someone has commented that what's the difference between 301 and 302? Actually, yeah, actually the basic difference between 301 and 302 means the 301 means the website which you are requesting for has been moved permanently. Whereas as for the case of 302, the resource requested had been moved temporarily. You know the difference, right? Yeah, that's the difference. Hope you got the answer. Okay, on moving on, let's just go on to JSON. So if you just notice there's a dot in front of it now. Well, actually, it's not a typing error. It's actually a dot JSON. So what's a dot JSON? It's actually a file format, guys. Just like the dot HTML, dot CPP, dot C. Yeah, same as that. So why is this JSON suddenly entering the picture? So that's because the request and response that I was just talking about a while ago now, all of these request and response files are actually transmitted in the form of JSON for you, such that yeah, it is the one which is the mod. It has the moderator in between those guys. So why is this? Why is the JSON preferred? And also, what is JSON means? It actually a file format which is used for transmitting and exchange of data between servers and applications for definition. And also, why is this preferred than other ones? That's because it's easily transmittable, it's language independent, it's humanly readable, such that if it's humanly readable, it's easily debuggable, and then so it's lightweight. Okay, and also it's can be organized based on the key value pairs and the various data types. Okay, guys. And also for your reference, I have given a small code snippet on the right side of the slide. On just noticing itself, you can just find out there's a you can find out everything on about it. That it's a file on a man named John Doe. His age is 30, and he has a children Alex and Bob, and he's not married, and he lives in the USA. Okay, guys. For example, if you just wanna you try opening any CP file and the C drive now, it will be more like a reading a Sanskrit book at all. But for James Bond, it's somewhat like a human readable, and it's easy to understand. So that's why I prefer the JSON files. For any doubts, just post in the comments.
So guys, have you ever wondered how have you ever wondered how different devices connect with each other to make an order, to book a flight or a train ticket with just a few clicks? It all happened because of our unsung hero, which is nothing but our application programming interface or API. An API is a messenger which takes a request and tells the system what you want to do and returns a response back to you. Let me give an example. Think an API is a waiter of a restaurant. Imagine you're sitting at the hotel and trying to order from the menu, and the kitchen is a part of the system which will prepare the order. What's missing is the link between you and the kitchen. So that's where API comes. API is a waiter. API is a waiter, which is a messenger, which will take the request of your order to the kitchen. In this case, the system, and delivers the food or response back to you. Now, now let's see a real API example, which you're probably familiar with, the process of booking a train ticket in IRCTC website. In order to book your ticket, you will interact with the IRCTC website and access the IRCTC database to see if any seats are available as per your requirements and what's the cost it may be. Now, what if you are not booking a train ticket from the website, from the official IRCTC website? Imagine you are booking a train ticket from online travel service, which aggregates information from the IRCTC database. The travel service this is where API plays an important role. The travel service extracts the information from the API from which the API is an interface which acts like a waiter of the restaurant, which can be accessed by the online service to get the info from the IST system over the internet to book the seat. So as you can see, API is which makes us possible to use the travel sites the same as the interaction between the application data and devices. The API establishes the ultimate connectivity. So whenever you think API, think a waiter which runs back and forth between applications, databases, and devices to deliver data and create connectivity.
Hello guys, I hope now you have a clear understanding about what is API and what is .json. So moving on, there are a set of things we need to set up to access or handle the information we get from the web. It is tough job for an Android developer good for handling huge amount of data manually. Here comes a simpler and efficient way of communication which helps to connect our Android apps to the internet. Yes, I'm going to talk about Retrofit, which is a powerful and efficient library for handling network requests in Android apps. It helps us to ask for information from the internet and understand the answers we get back. It's like having a translator between our app and the internet. Now, let me explain you some of the benefits of using the Retrofit library. First, it is easy to understand as it uses simple words to define API endpoints and requests. So API endpoints are the base URLs from which the data will be collected. And then it is type safe. Now what I mean by type safe is it makes sure that we get the correct type of information from the internet and our app stays safe. And it also helps us understand the information it gets back from the internet, so we can use it easily. It integrates seamlessly with popular JSON parsing libraries like JSON and Moshi and simplifies the conversion of JSON responses into Java objects. It knows how to ask for different types of informations like asking for something new, updating, or deleting it. We can use all major HTTP methods such as get, post, put, delete, or parse, patch, so which is discussed earlier. So it will make it easier for various API interactions. Retrofit can also help us add extra security or keep track of what's happening when we interact with the internet. using interceptors, enabling features like logging in, authentication, and more. Now, let's take a look at how easy it is to set up Retrofit in your Android project. First, you will need to include the Retrofit dependency in your project's build Gradle file. Now, what a retrofit dependency means, it is a special code, and a build Gradle file is a file in an Android project which is used to compile and build and package the Android app. So, after adding the dependencies, you will typically define an interface that represents your API endpoints and then annotate with retrofit annotations like put, get, post, etc. and create a retrofit instance using retrofit builder. Once you have set up with retrofit, making network requests is straightforward. You simply call methods on the defined interface and retrofit handles the rest. Apart from retrofit, there is another library called Wally. It is an HTTP library used for networking just like retrofit, but we cannot use annotations in Wally. Ultimately, the choice between Wally and Retrofit depends on specific needs of your projects. If you need a lightweight library for basic networking tasks, or if you prefer synchronous requests, Wally might be a better fit. However, if you require more flexibility, type safety, and support for RESTful APIs, Retrofit is likely a better choice. So now let's look into some of the applications of Retrofit. So how we get instant stock market data from the stock market APIs. So we use stock market terms and in a retrofit instance, and we connect it with the stock market updates providing data APIs. So we get a data in the form of JSON, and the JSON file will be passed into Java objects. So same like stock market updates, live sports updates, live streaming, social media platforms, and e-commerce apps use Retrofit for passing the data. In conclusion, Retrofit is a powerful and efficient library for handling network requests in Android applications. Its, sim- its type safety and simplicity and integration capabilities make it a must-have tool for any Android developer.
So guys, hi again. So till now we have been focusing on the theoretical part of the session. So hope it was interesting. So now let's just take it to the next level by giving you a live demonstration on the website. So yeah, so for that we are gonna use this website called Pokidoki. The name's good and I'm cute, right? So yeah, what I'm gonna basically do is we're just gonna get some Pokemon details on based on the name. So on doing so, we'll be getting the HP attack and the defense of the specific Pokemon by usage of the HTTP request methods. Yeah. So for the demonstration, just give you a suggestion for any Pokemon guy. Comment your any favorite Pokemons. You comment. So yeah, someone has commented Bulbasaur. So let's come on, let's just search for it. Bulbasaur. So on searching it's the grass type Pokemon obviously, and then flights. HP is 45, attack is 49, defense is 49. It's not small, 7. And then come on guys, give any more. I just want to make this experience best for you. Okay, now it's Raichu. Yeah, it is. Yeah, Raichu. Done. Its HP is 60, attacks 90, defense 55, and it's obviously a epic type Pokemon. And now the comments is getting interesting. Yeah, it's quite a. Then what else, guys? Uh, my famous Pokemon, my favorite Pokemon actually, Snorlax. Epic. Oh, shit, that's been 160. Expected. Okay, so okay, guys, for your experience, we have given the website link in the chat. So just go on and surf and use it up. Okay, guys, the experience with it. Let me just give a minute for it. Yeah. Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed it. So for now, let me just get to the technical part. So what's happening? Okay, so what's happening in the details of the website? Yeah. So what we are basically doing is that when you're just searching for any Pokemon or not, what we are doing is that we are sending a HTTP request. Actually, the name has a construct the URL with it, such that on searching the Pokemon, we're just sending a HTTP request, HTTP get request actually. We are using the get request for it. Remember, for example, for getNav, we will be using for retrieving of any data or yeah, same as that. You'll be using the get request method for accessing this Pokemon. So what we're basically doing is this, we're just sending a URL with the Pokemon name. For example, if it's Jigglypuff means, for example, it's like Pokemon.api slash Jigglypuff semester, such that the URL is now it will be accessing the database to the server with the help of API, and then after the request is made, the server starts looking for it. It will be looking for the Jigglypuff Pokemon, and then if it's found now, it will be sending with a response along with its HP, attack, defense, and then its Pokemon type. Okay, along with its image. So the image is actually received by this laptop which I am working on, the browser which I am working on, and then the browser just starts unraveling all the items. This is unraveling, parsing, and then rendering, such that after this rendering process, I'll be getting this image and then all the information, record information, which to be needed in my website. Just that on doing that, I'll be getting the required information. Okay, guys. And also, just give a thumbs up in the chat for Harita on making this website, guys. Okay. Hope you enjoyed it. So, guys, let's now let's see about the Android cluster. Let's just go on with the Android cluster on doing this, or they demonstrating this all these times. Okay.
So hi guys. Now we just saw how the website works, and we took an example API and how the website works. Now we just look at how the Android application of the same API is executed. So this is when the entire circle is completed for the HTTP request model, where we told you that we'll show you how you can integrate both Android and web, and this is the final step in it. So basically, this is an Android application which uses the exact same API that you saw for the website. So what we'll do now is try to explore the same thing over here. So just like how they had explained in web, that you can like put your ID or you can choose your Pokemon and give you the Pokemon you require. Same way you can type an ID over here and it will tell you which Pokemon you have to see. As you can see, if I put 34, I get Grimmer. And then I get like the details of the image, the location, and poison, the type it uses. So what is actually going on from the Android perspective? So in the beginning, you have one API which has all the details you require. And then we use the Retrofit library, as we had mentioned before, and create an interface between the API and your Android project to actually fetch those details. So the response that you get from your API would probably be in a JSON format. And then what we want to do is parse it so that it is converted into a Java understandable format. So what you're seeing here as location and type would have actually been in a JSON format, and Retrofit does all that work. It abstracts all that work for you to display details like this. And then the image was also a part of the API, which you can use different like frameworks called Glide and all to basically display content here. And similarly, if you want to look at other options, so it's quite possible. So this brings us to the end of the Android presentation. Since there's a lot of fan following for Pikachu, let's just see how that looks. Right. So this is basically the cycle where we showed you HTTP request response model, both from the web perspective and the Android perspective. And as you can see, it's the exact same details in two different formats. So that's the essence of today's topic as well, how Android and web works together. After this, we'll be having a small quiz where we can understand what's happened so far. So please comment your answers in the quiz. We'll be switching to that now. Right, so we'll have a small quiz right now for the concepts that we'll cover before. The first one is, which HTTP method is typically used when a client wants to retrieve data from a server without causing any side effects? You have four options here: get, post, put, and delete. Um, Try posting all your answers in the chat. Okay, so post your answers and we'll be changing to the answer slide soon. Okay, let's look at the answer now. If your answer was get, then it's correct. So the question was basically what do you use when you want to retrieve data without any side effects. So the entire purpose of the get method is that. So you can fetch data, but then you wouldn't be making any changes. So that would be one. And then this is another one for you. We looked at status codes, right? This is the time for you to test out your status code skills. Which HTTP status code indicates that the requested resource has been successfully created on the server? We have given like the proper status code along with what it means also, so you can use that for a hint. And then put the answers in chat. Okay, so we are getting responses for it now. Let's look at the right answer. So the correct answer is actually 201 created. Since we wanted to know what would be the code when you successfully create something on the server, we'll use 201 created. So that's the quiz for the first topic. Now let's move on to the second one. So right now we have covered one topic, which is the HTTP request response model, one way of integrating Android in web apps. Let's try looking at the next one.
Hey everyone, just moving on now, we'll be taking a look at what is WebSocket and difference between a HTTP and a WebSocket protocol. Two popular protocols which you use on the internet all the time without realizing. So let's talk about what is WebSocket. WebSocket is not just any communication protocol. It's a game changer. It enables real-time full duplex communication between a client like your browser or a mobile app and a server. Imagine having a conversation where both parties can speak and listen simultaneously. That's WebSocket in action. Now let's talk about how WebSocket is utilized in Android applications. In Android development, integrating WebSocket functionality is relatively straightforward. Developers often use libraries like OKHTTP or Java WebSocket to handle WebSocket connections seamlessly. Now let's talk about how the WebSocket just works. The initial request which the server sends is an HTTP request to a WebSocket endpoint. The client sends this request to the server, says that like a hi message, like, hey, can we have a connection upgraded to WebSocket? It says, yep, I can upgrade that connection to WebSocket. And once this is done, the connection is established. It is upgraded to the WebSocket connection. The connection is closed only when either the client or server explicitly decides to close the connection. And this WebSocket connection right here is awesome, right? Why? Because this actually is a dual channel established between the client and the server. With WebSocket, we are talking about bidirectional communication, meaning both the client and server can send messages to each other simultaneously. This creates a seamless, interactive experience without the delays typical of traditional request response models like HTTP. But where does WebSocket shine the brightest? Let's talk about its applications. WebSocket is the backbone of real-time communication in various domains, including chat applications, gaming, collaborative platforms, and more. Chat applications that deliver message instantly, gaming platforms where players interact seamlessly in real time, and collaborative tools enabling multiple users to work together simultaneously, all made possible by WebSocket. WebSocket isn't just limited to chat and gaming. It's the driving force behind sports applications, delivering live updates, news, apps, providing a real-time alerts, and location services offering accurate, up-to-date tracking information. Whether you are following your favorite sports team, staying informed with breaking news, or tracking a package, WebSocket ensures you receive the latest information in real time right at your fingertips. Let's see the difference between HTTP and WebSocket. You guys already learned about the HTTP model, right? HTTP connection is a duplex connection. The server just sends a response to the request sent by the client and it closes off the connection between them. So what HTTP does is that only it allows communication in a single direction. So either the client speaks and the server responds, or the server speaks and the client responds. HTTP is a seamless protocol, stateless protocol. That means every single time, if the client wants to send something to the server, the client has to specify all the headers. Like it want to specify from which IP I want to contact you, like that. After every single HTTP request, that HTTP connection get closed. And the next time the next request arrives, the next request is made by the client. This connection might establish to some other server, right? And because this is stateless, the other server exactly knows what the client wants. So we can imagine like this, like the difference between them can be understood by the following example. Like take an example in WebSocket. Consider both of the client and the server are now on a phone call, where they pretty much can say whatever they want to each other any time of the day. How does this differ from HTTP? That differs in the sense that your HTTP connection is more like sending a letter, probably. So you'll send a letter once, then the server reads it, then the server responds with another letter, and that's it. The connection then closes, right? For the next time, the client has to again initiate the connection or the server, just like sending a new letter. So this is just like a one-time transaction which is happening here. Now in WebSocket, if this client starts sending 1,000 messages, then only this server has to handle it. Why? Because they are on a phone call, right? So it cannot really drop the connection, because if it does that, then it pretty much will, just drop the connection here, and the client will see that, hey, the connection has been lost. And the state has been lost for the most part because this is a single connection. Now this connection is stateful. That means it's not that on every single message, this client has to tell who the client is, right? That authentication phase only happens when there's a handshake going on for the very first time. After the handshake is complete, this is a stateful connection. This has the drawback that you cannot use multiple servers to handle multiple messages, because this channel is already established and it's long running time, right? This problem does not happen in the case of HTTP, because you can have multiple servers and all it is doing is just handling this one single request and that's it. Then it's closed. Then for the next request, another channel opens up, right? And then that happens. HTTP is definitely slower because you are transferring a lot more data in every single request compared to WebSockets. WebSockets are long living, therefore they are obviously faster, as well as because it's like on a phone call. It's more like sending a letter, or maybe like just giving a ring and then or sending a text message, for example. But yeah, I mean, both have their own pros and cons, right? So it's not like one is perfect for a single job. It depends on what you want to do. So yeah, that's pretty much it for WebSocket versus HTTP.
Now let's take a visual dive into the WebSocket models, which is to be explained next. Get ready to see these concepts come to life.
Right, so as you can see on the screen, we have like a small chat application here. And then, so as we had explained before, the WebSocket model, you use it only when you want like real-time communication. And obviously, chats are the best examples of real-time communication. So right now, as you can see on the screen, there's like people typing, "Hi, this is ByteJam," and then I'd be like, "I like Pokemon." And then you can wait for them to respond, and then you keep going on. And as you can see, every single time I am not sending a request like we did in the previous model. This is the difference we want to show you. In the previous model, anytime you wanted to get any response from the server, you have to send a particular response request, and then you will get a response for that. But right now, once you establish a communication, you can keep talking until the communication is closed. So this is the best example of the Pokemon chat. And again, we've given the website link for you to all try and experience it. So this is how the WebSocket model works, like the best example of how the WebSocket model works. Okay, then now that we know how uh, now that we know how the chat works, let's look at the same thing from the Android perspective and how you can implement this in the app. So as you can see, we have the same app again, and now let's go to the chat group. So just like how when once you start, once you go to that particular website, when you start chatting and you have a connection established, we're going to try the same thing here. Again, this is the example of how web and Android are connected. You can use the WebSocket in your website and as well as your app, and you can chat. So let's say I click on start and then I've established connection now. The handshake and everything is done. I've established connection and now I can start typing basically. So as you can see, we got like people chatting and talking with each other, and then you can send responses. All this is possible up to the point where you click on close. After you've clicked on close, you cannot continue chatting and like let's test this out. You can't send any responses there, as you can see. So this is the essence of how WebSocket. This is the essence of how WebSocket works. When you basically open connection, it will be existing until you close it. So now that we have seen this, let's go on to the quiz of the WebSocket now. Right, again we are back to the quiz time, and I hope you're finding this fun. So let's look at some concepts in WebSocket. Which term describes the feature of WebSocket allowing both client and server to initiate communication? Your options are duplex, unidirectional, full duplex, and half duplex. Try thinking about what we discussed before and get the answer for this, and post it in the chat for sure. Start posting your answers, guys. You want to see the actual answer to the question? If you had chosen full duplex, then that's the right answer. Since the question was which term describes the feature of WebSocket allowing both client and server to initiate communication. Why is it full duplex? Is because you want both of them to be able to talk to each other. So it happens both ways. And that's why it's full duplex. And then we have one more short, a different question. Which of these is true about WebSocket versus HTTP? And you have these options on your screen. The first one is WebSocket is real-time bidirectional and HTTP is request response. Or the second option, HTTP is persistent full duplex and WebSocket is stateless unidirectional. WebSocket is text-based, HTTP supports multimedia, and HTTP has low latency, high bandwidth, and WebSocket is used for streaming. Which one of these do you think is the right answer? Tell us in the chat. Right, so we're getting some responses for the question. Let's see what the actual answer is. The correct answer is option A, real-time bidirectional and request response. So WebSocket works again. You have to have a communication that works both ways. That's why it's bidirectional and it happens real time. HTTP, on the other hand, is a request response model. You send a request, you get a response. That's a concept there. With that, we move on to the next concept, that is Webview. So we'll see about the next collaboration between web and Android. This is a very simple but very efficient concept, which is Webview. To know what a view is generally a component that you use in an Android to represent like different components that you're going to show on a screen. For example, you can have an image view where in your app you will have an image being posted, like an image being displayed. For example, if you have text view, you will have a content like constant text. So one of the big collaborations between Android as well as web is a web view. Simple, just like an image view, web view is also a component where instead of an image in a web view, you will post your whole web, which means your website. Instead of the image, you post the web view website's URL. So this is the major. So have you ever wanted like there's a major thing is if you are on a different app and you have a link over there, it leads to some other website. Like for example, on this line we have Instagram. Instagram is being opened, but then Amazon on its own has a different Android app. But then the Amazon website is getting opened on an Instagram app. Have you ever wondered because Instagram is a different thing and Amazon is a different thing? But then seamlessly without even opening your Chrome, you'll be able to view the Amazon website. So you should have wondered how. So today now we have the explanation. So as we have told, WebView is just a view within an Android application. So it helps every developer to go add the website into the app. So, for example, picture this. You're using a mobile app and suddenly you need to access a web page. Traditionally, normally, if you don't use a web view, you will be kicked out of the app and you have to use a separate browser. But not anymore. You have web view. So it's like having the browser. It's like having a built-in browser within your app. Whether it can display articles, forms, maps, or any web-based content, WebView seamlessly integrates into your app user's interface. So now, why is this so exciting? Imagine you are using a travel app. With WebView, you can browse through hotel options, maps for directions, or you can even book your flights without leaving the app at all. It's a big game changer for user experience. But WebView is not just about the convenience. WebView opens up a new possibilities for developers. You can actually create hybrid apps that blend native functionalities with web technologies, offering the best of both worlds to users. And wait, here is the best part. WebView doesn't just display content statically. It's interactive, guys. Users can click links, they can fill out forms and interact with dynamic web elements just like they would do in a regular browser. Just because the web view is inside an app, it doesn't restrict any of the interactions that a browser would provide. But of course, with great power, it comes with a great responsibility. Security and performance are paramount. Developers need to ensure the web view is very secure. It should have guarding against a lot of vulnerabilities and malicious activities. So usually these gets more prone to it. So for example, we will see the difference. Like for example, this is the Pokemon website that is actually available on the website when it comes to the Indian link. So the left one is the real Pokemon. But when it comes to an app, we'll look into the app. We have the other option of the official website. We look into it then. So this how is the difference? See, on the left side we have how big. The web ensures that whichever device that you go on, the website is wrapped throughout it. It's like when the left side has usually a tab or a laptop. When it comes to the right side, it's on your phone. You see how small, how wrapped the image gets through this. So, how is it integrated with Android? As you know, the Android will be able, the app that you build will be able not just to stay inside the app, but then you can use the websites or it's like two different worlds getting integrated. So, what are its applications? So, instead of people going, if they need to use the browser, they don't need to go to a different Chrome or something to go browse Instead, you will have in-app browsers. Don't have to leave your application at all, which is a very big advantage. And you can create hybrid apps, which means that will blend like the normal functionalities that are already there with the web technologies. And most the common example is the displaying as, like, when you install an like a fun app which you go through ads, you install, and after installing you might notice there are like hell a lot of ads coming throughout the app. Actually, Webview is one of the application of web display ads. So like when you're going through an Android, they have a link with a timer. Like after this amount of time, this ad, the URL is then linked with this, so that you get the ad. And we can also have these games throughout this. So we'll see the demonstration of the WebView model.
So we're back to the website again. Over here we have the last option, that's the Pokemon website. So this is basically just the normal website, and as you can see, the URL has changed. It's the official website of Pokemon for India at least. This is how it looks in your web browser. But then, how does this come into your Android application? That's where the magic happens. And let's look at that in our Android app right now. Right, so we're back to the app, and then this is the official website. And if you go and click on that, let's just wait for the website to load. And as you can see, it's the exact same website, but then all the content of the website has been compressed into to fit that particular screen, and that is the beauty of WebView. So if I scroll through, you can find exactly the same information that you found on the website. And how do I prove it to you that it's WebView and I'm like not opening a browser or something? So if I just click on this button here, you can see I'm still in the same app that I had created, and I have not moved on to any other application, or I don't have any other browsers open. It's just one particular app. And over there, you can see all the content that we saw on the website. Now you might be having a doubt that there was a tab that displayed a lot of text, a lot of options, right? Where did that go? So Android does all the work for you, and then it created a tab view here where you can see the exact same options that you had on the website over there. They just compress it to fit it to your particular screen, and that's how WebView works. So as always, let's go back to our quiz and understand what WebView is. Right, so we have the quiz on the screen ready for you. First question, which of the following is true about WebView and Android? WebView can only display static web pages. It's used for native Android app development only. WebView renders web content within an Android app's UI, and it requires an active internet connection to function. These are your options, and as always, post your answers in the chat. Fine. We're getting a lot of responses now. Let's try to look at what the answer is. Right. So we have a small twist for you there. It isn't just one option, but it's two. It's true that Webview renders web content within an Android app's UI. That is the main functionality of it. But then, for that to work, you need to have active internet connection as well. So that was a small trick for you over there, you can easily understand the intuition behind this, right? So every time you need to access website, you need to have an internet connection. It's not just restricted to how it works in your browser, but the same way for an app as well. And that's why you have both these options. And then the last one. Which of the following is not typically a responsibility of a backend system? This is based on this question is based on what you've understood, like with all the topics for both web and Android, and you can try to find the answer for this based on that. Handling user authentication, rendering UI components, processing and storing data, managing server-side logic. Which of this does a backend system not do? Start posting answers, guys. Okay, we have responses coming in now. Let's see what the answer actually is. So the correct answer is rendering UI components. So obviously your backend system's job is to handle the logic of how your particular application, be it a web app or your mobile app, it's to handle or understand how the logic of it works. But then how the display looks or how aesthetic it is, it's all the front end job. And that's why backend doesn't have so much of a work there. Its work is to implement functionality and logic. So obviously the right answer is rendering UI components. That brings us to the end of the session today, the morning session for today. And we hope you've enjoyed and understood what difference between web Android is, and also from the previous one about how ML and content can work together. Hope you enjoyed this and stay tuned. We have a session in the afternoon for you, which will probably start at 2 o'clock. So do join us for that without fail. And if you have any questions, we'll be here for another 5 minutes. You can post any questions, your thoughts and comments in the chat. So if that's the end of questions, thank you for joining us for the first half. Stay tuned for the second session, and you can find the link in our Instagram page as well. Thank you.